Hello everyone, it's Tess and today is tip 250. I figured I better get this in. I'm not working today. I had the week off for an event that got postponed, but I wanted to get on because I know it's too easy for me to forget these. And today I decided I was going to just do a tip for just having fun. I know yesterday I was a little too serious, so I figured today I'd try to lighten it up a little bit. But there are things that happen sometimes that are serious. So I thought today I would just kind of look at it different, and I found an article in Psychology Today. It was back to 2014, and it was written by someone called Stephanie Sarkis, S-A-R-K-I-S, and she said, "We just want to have fun, 8 ways to make your life more fun." And so I just figured I'd take a look at those and try to think about life in a little bit different way. And the first one she said, and I love this because it had another Dr. Seuss quote in it. And the Dr. Seuss quotes have been hitting me lately, so I really like those. But the first one is, worrying about what other people think. That is an obstacle that causes people not to have fun. And I'll say there's probably many times that people, like if my mom, my sister, and I get together, something can happen and cause us to go into a giggle fest that will end with us in tears of laughter at the end. So worrying about what other people think is not productive and not something you want to do. While I was thinking about this, I thought of something that happened yesterday. I won't give details on it, but it made me realize that silly in fun is a win, but anger, you can look silly and that's not a win. So I always try to be playful and light and use your silly motions and items for something playful and fun. It just looks a lot better that way. So the Dr. Seuss quote that I found on this that was really meaningful to me, that I'm going to start a Dr. Seuss journal just because I really love them. Dr. Seuss said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind." And that kind of reminded me of a trainer I worked with for a while, and he would always say, "Just do this, and I don't mind if it matters to you." So it was his play off of this statement. But I like this Dr. Seuss. Well, hello, Mr. Glenn. And so Dr. Seuss, again, I like Dr. Seuss. I love some of his sayings. So again, Dr. Seuss, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. So really enjoy life, be playful, be fun, but try to keep it on the vein of happiness and joyfulness, because it really looks pretty bizarre and it looks hateful if you're doing it out of a place of anger. Number 2, you think you need to spend money. Doc V's been talking a lot about that lately, that he wants to get to a point in life where he is recycling everything and trying to give back to the earth. And that's probably a great thing, because there's been so much damage to our earth lately. Like my dad, it's been a couple of years trying to find peacocks, and we couldn't find them, and we finally found some. But sadly, when we found them, it was a case where the state was supporting somebody to try to keep them alive. Too much of what we do now is destructive. And what we're doing is destroying what's going to remain for the next generations. There are simple things to do. My goddaughter and her mom got together the past couple of weeks, and they just went looking for butterflies or walking in nature, sometimes just a book outside by the lake. There's a lot of things you can do that are fun that don't cost money. Number 3, you think you don't have time. I think sometimes you have to make time because life goes too quickly and you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I actually enjoyed, it's been a couple of years now, but the little girl next door, and Doc V will probably scold me because I haven't taught him how to find a 4-leaf clover yet, but I knew where there was a 4-leaf clover, so I kind of directed her outside so she could find her first 4-leaf clover. Because that's something that I did with my grandmother, so it was something I wanted to share with someone else because it reminded me of her, and it also gave me a gift to give to someone else. The next item they said, number 4, that is an obstacle that gets in our way for having fun, is you think you need this detailed, complex plan. And that kind of goes to the one before. Sometimes you just need to find a half hour to do something. I love to walk in the morning when the sun rises. It's beautiful. I love to see the bunnies running back and forth across the road. So find something beautiful in a sunrise or in a walk or in a butterfly or in a bird. There's a lot of things that can bring joy. And looking at life from that place of joy just feels better. They talk about the emotional scale where Doc V always says intellect high, emotions low, emotions high, intellect low. And just kind of think about it is, do you want to live a place where you're happy, joyful, and full of love? Or do you want to live in that place where you're angry, jealous, worried, upset? None of us want to live in that place. So seek to find joy, because what I found is if you start to find the things, the simple things, the butterfly, the bird, or the silly thing, it makes you feel good. And that does bring you up on the emotional scale. I may have mentioned this already. You think you need a plan? You don't always need a plan. Sometimes it's a simple walk. You can read a book. You can find a few minutes to watch a YouTube video that'll make you feel good, like of a sunrise or a sunset or learning something new or doing a new recipe or in the garden. I like to be out there sometimes because that's when I'll see butterflies or I'll see the little girls next door. So there's always some small way. And if you look for the small ways, you'll find a lot more joy more often. Number 5 is you mistake solemn for serious. And I guess that is true. We don't want to take everything too serious because that is actually emotions too high and intellect low. It's okay to be reflective and contemplative because that can be done from a place where you still feel love and joy and happiness. But if you're too serious, it tends to mean that you're in a place of despair, anger, frustration, and that just doesn't help us to move forward in a good way. Number 6 is thinking that everything has to be perfect. Life is not perfect. All of us have had times in our life where things are not perfect. We just have to keep moving forward, and we'll do ourselves a better if we understand that and we do move forward. You want to take the moments now. You don't want to wait for it to be perfect because we aren't always promised perfect, and we're not always promised tomorrow. Number 7 kind of goes back with the one before. You think it has to be big and it has to be spectacular. And sometimes, like I said, the funniest moments that we still laugh about within my family are times when my mom, my sister, and I get together and something will happen and my sister will trigger into a giggle fest that will end in laughter, and it's so funny. My dad sometimes refers to it as cackling hens, but it's done in the most nicest of ways, and it's very, very funny. And again, spectacular, you can find spectacular in small things. And by that, I mean, you can find spectacular in a butterfly and a bunny and spending a few minutes with a girl next door, talking to a friend that you haven't seen in a while. It can be the small things that give you the greatest rewards. Time that I got to spend with people I haven't seen in a long time this weekend was very meaningful to me because there were some conversations that maybe we wouldn't have had if we hadn't been face to face. The reason was really sad, but the moments with people that are important were valued. And number 8 is boredom. They were saying that there is depression, and depression can cause people to be bored. And that is something that may need to be addressed medically. It may be an illness. But if it is not something that you need to address medically, boredom is a choice. Now, that's kind of quick, fast, and to the point. But if you are not facing something that needs an assistance, then it is a choice to be bored. And I thought that was very meaningful. And it kind of reminded me of a lot of what Doc V says, is that we need to be spending time to move our lives forward. So I'll go through that real quick again. Just some pointers they say on things that you might be allowing you to not allow yourself to have fun. Number 1 was worrying about what other people think, and we can't worry about what other people think. We're here for a purpose. We know that purpose. They don't know the purpose, so let them find their own path. Number 2, you think you have to spend money? I found that some of the greatest things I've ever done don't have to do with money. It's just spending time with people and silly little adventures, just even just something, a walk in a park, or sometimes I love to find those really long staircases because it's kind of a challenge for me because I do try to beat challenges. That's how I ended up on a 300-mile bicycle ride. I'll jump into something knowing that I'm not ready for it, but I'll just do it because if everybody else is doing it, I want to do it too. No, if they jumped off the bridge, I wouldn't go with them. But, just about anything else, I might. Number 3 is you think you don't have time. Life is too quick. Life is too short. Make the time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Spend it with people that are important to you because tomorrow's not promised. Number 4, you think you need a plan. Spontaneous is good sometimes. Around here, there's a lot of local parks that we can go to. Sometimes I'll get in the car with my parents and we just go looking for deer because my dad has this favorite area where at one point he found a couple hundred deer. Now we have areas where he knows where to find peacocks. So we'll go take that drive because there is nothing greater for him than to find those peacocks. And we found like 10 babies. And those are memories that I'll always have. So allow yourself the spontaneous moments. Number 5, don't mistake contemplative for serious. You can have times of like reflecting and looking and staring out at a lake and being contemplative, but it doesn't have to be serious where it brings you down on the emotional scale. This kind of reminded me of Stephen Nagy from Money School because it kind of said that Jim Morrison says that no one gets out alive. And it reminded me of Stephen because Stephen always says this isn't something he got from his dad. Life isn't a dress rehearsal, so you better enjoy it. Number 6 was you think conditions have to be perfect. Historically, that has been a problem with me, but I have let that go because I recognize that if I seek perfection all the time, I never get progress moving forward, and sometimes it's just about getting the next step. I spent too much time analyzing, and I just have to keep moving forward because perfect is a problem that takes too long to overcome. Progress gets me where I want to go faster. 7, you think it has to be big and spectacular. Sometimes it's the simple things, and sometimes you want, like we have a little village, a shopping village that's called Canterbury, where it looks like it was Middle Eastern, or not Middle Eastern, in their old like castle days. They have some of the shops, they're all old world type. So some of those are kind of fun to go to. So find the little things, little butterfly houses. That's what I used to do with my goddaughter. And I know she recently did it with her son. So look for the little things to have fun. And then if you're not overcoming a medical illness that you have to go to a doctor for, because by all means, those things need to be supported in the right way. If that is not something that you're dealing with, if you're bored, that's a choice, and you can overcome boredom. And I'm going to end this with another Dr. Seuss quote, the same quote I mentioned earlier, because I love Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss says, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." So go out and have a little bit of fun today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I hope you find a butterfly, a bird, or somewhere new to be. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.